Before Rome ruled the seas, there was Carthage, a city born of trade, ambition, and the boundless horizon of the Mediterranean. Long before the legions marched, a different power held sway, a maritime empire that rose from the waves, its story etched in salt and gold. This wasn't just a city. It was a testament to what a determined people could achieve with a ship, a star to guide them, and a world to trade with. Our story begins around 814 BCE. While much of Europe was still shrouded in relative obscurity, skilled mariners from Phoenicia in modern-day Lebanon sailed west. Led by the legendary Queen Dido, they founded a new city, or Carthage, on the coast of North Africa. This was Carthage. It inherited the unparalleled seafaring skills of the Phoenicians, who were the ancient world's most daring traders. From this strategic outpost, Carthage was perfectly positioned to become the gateway between the riches of Africa and the markets of Europe. What began as a humble colony was destined for greatness. Unlike other ancient powers built on conquest, Carthage's empire was built on commerce. Its lifeblood was trade. Carthaginian merchants mastered the Mediterranean, their ships charting courses from the silver mines of Spain to the grain fields of Sicily and the ports of Egypt. They created a vast network, trading precious metals, ivory, textiles, and tin, effectively connecting 3 continents. Imagine bustling ports, the air filled with a dozen languages, and goods from across the known world being unloaded under the watchful eye of the goddess Tanit, whose symbol adorned their sails. Their wealth wasn't dug from the ground through forced labor. It was earned on the open water. To protect this immense wealth, Carthage needed a navy like no other. They didn't just build ships, they perfected them. Their signature warship, the Queen, was a marvel of naval engineering, a floating fortress that was faster, larger, and more powerful than anything its rivals could field. With a fleet of these formidable vessels, Carthage became the undisputed ruler of the Western Mediterranean. Their navy wasn't just for defense. It projected power, ensuring the Carthaginian trade routes remained open and their influence unchallenged. The heart of this maritime empire was the city itself, a marvel of innovation. The legendary harbor of Carthage, known as the Cothin, was an engineering masterpiece. It consisted of 2 interconnected rings, an outer rectangular harbor for merchant ships and a secret, circular inner harbor for the military. This inner sanctum could shelter over 220 warships, hidden from prying eyes, ready to be deployed at a moment's notice. The city was governed not by a king, but by a council of elders, and 2 elected leaders called Saphidi, a system remarkably similar to the consuls of their future rival, Rome. As Carthage's influence grew, so did its territory. It established colonies across North Africa, Spain, Sardinia, and Sicily. But this expansion put it on a collision course with other powers. First, the Greeks, and then a rising republic from the Italian peninsula, Rome. The clash between these 2 titans would ignite a series of conflicts known as the Punic Wars, a century-long struggle that would decide the fate of the Mediterranean. It was during this epic struggle that Carthage produced its greatest champion. Hannibal Barca, a military genius whose name still echoes through history. Hannibal's daring campaign against Rome is the stuff of legend. He achieved the impossible, leading his army, complete with war elephants, across the treacherous Alps to strike at the heart of Italy. His tactical brilliance at battles like Cannae brought Rome to its knees and proved that Carthage was a force of intellect and strategy, not just naval might. For a moment, it seemed Carthage would triumph, but history is often cruel. After 3 devastating wars, the tide turned for good. In 146 BCE, Roman legions under Scipio Aemilianus besieged and utterly destroyed Carthage. The city was burned to the ground, its population scattered, and its fields were said to have been sown with salt. A symbolic act to ensure nothing would ever grow there again. Rome wanted to erase its greatest rival from memory. Yet, a legacy built on the sea cannot be so easily erased. Though the city was reduced to ruins, Carthage's spirit endured. Its innovations in shipbuilding, navigation, and commerce were absorbed by its conquerors. Rome, once a land-based power, learned from Carthage how to build and command a navy, ultimately creating its own maritime empire. The ruins of Carthage, still visible on the Tunisian coast, are a quiet reminder of a brilliant civilization that taught the world how to master the seas. Carthage may have fallen to fire, but its legacy still sails upon every wave. Before the Empire of Rome, there was Carthagetha, Empire of the Sea. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you want to explore more forgotten empires of history, don't forget to subscribe to Empire Minds. Before Rome ruled the seas, there was Carthage, a city born of trade, ambition, and the boundless horizon of the Mediterranean. Long before the rise of the Caesars, a different power commanded the waves. A civilization that began as a humble colony and grew into one of the greatest naval empires of the ancient world. This is the story of Carthage, the phoenix that rose from the sea. Our story begins around 814 BCE, while ancient Greece was flourishing. Traders from Phoenicia, modern-day Lebanon, were the undisputed masters of maritime commerce. According to legend, Queen Dido fled the city of Tyre and established a new city, or Carthage, on the coast of North Africa. This new city, Carthage, inherited the Phoenicians' unrivaled expertise in shipbuilding and navigation. From this strategic outpost, Carthage was perfectly positioned to become the gateway of trade between the vast resources of Africa and the burgeoning markets of Europe. Carthage's power wasn't forged in the fires of conquest, but in the bustling activity of its ports. Its wealth was built on commerce. Carthaginian merchants established a sprawling network of trade routes that crisscrossed the Mediterranean, connecting Spain, Sicily, Sardinia, and even the distant shores of Britain with the markets of Egypt and the Levant. They traded precious metals like gold, silver, and tin for ivory, textiles, and other exotic goods. Their mastery of the sea wasn't just a skill. It was the engine of their prosperity, making them the dominant economic force in the Western Mediterranean. To protect this lucrative trade, Carthage built one of the most formidable navies the ancient world had ever seen. Their signature warship, the Quinquereme, was a marvel of naval engineering, powerful vessel with 5 banks of oars, making it faster and more powerful than the standard triremes of their rivals. This mighty fleet not only guarded the merchant lanes but also projected Carthaginian power far from its home shores, ensuring that no one could challenge their control of the sea lanes. The city itself was a testament to Carthaginian ingenuity. Its centerpiece was the Cathan, a legendary circular harbor that was an engineering masterpiece. It consisted of 2 interconnected rings, an outer rectangular harbor for merchant vessels, and a secure inner circular harbor for its military fleet. This military port could secretly house and repair over 220 warships ready to be deployed at a moment's notice. Governed not by a king, but by a council and 2 elected leaders known as Sophies. Much like Rome's consuls, Carthage was a republic built on innovation and maritime might. As Carthage expanded its influence across North Africa, Spain, and the islands of the Mediterranean, it inevitably came into conflict with other rising powers. First, it clashed with the Greek city-states over control of Sicily. But its greatest rival would emerge from the Italian peninsula, Rome. The struggle between these 2 titans for dominion over the Mediterranean would ignite a series of conflicts known as the Punic Wars, a rivalry that would define an era. In this epic struggle, Carthage produced one of history's greatest military geniuses, Hannibal Barca. His daring campaign against Rome, culminating in the legendary crossing of the Alps with war elephants, is still studied today. At the Battle of Cannae, Hannibal inflicted one of the most devastating defeats Rome would ever suffer, bringing the Republic to its knees and proving Carthage's strategic brilliance on land as well as at sea. For a moment, it seemed Carthage would be the master of the known world, but Rome's resilience was legendary. After decades of brutal warfare, the tide turned. In 146 BCE, after the 3rd and final Punic War, Roman legions besieged and utterly destroyed Carthage. The city was burned to the ground. Its people were sold into slavery, and its fields were said to have been sown with salt, a symbolic act to ensure that nothing would ever grow there again. Rome had not just defeated its rival, it had attempted to erase it from history. Yet, a legacy so powerful can never be completely erased. Though the city was reduced to ruins, the influence of Carthage endured. Its innovations in shipbuilding, its vast trade networks, and its principles of naval strategy were absorbed by its conqueror, Rome. Carthage laid the blueprint for what a maritime empire could be. It may have fallen to fire and salt, but its spirit of exploration and commerce still sails upon every sea. Before the Empire of Rome, there was Carthage, Empire of the Sea. 4 more journeys into the great empires of history. Make sure you subscribe to Empire Minds. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next chapter of the past.